Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got big news for you guys. It looks like Jasmine Crockett's career is officially come to an end. And the Democrats, by the numbers, had a low voter turnout for Jasmine Crockett in Dallas, where she was expected to dominate. So I want to break all this stuff down because this is big heading into November in the midterms. We know now that James Tallarico will go against John Cornyn or Ken Paxton. We'll talk about the big Republican races, the money spent, and also how Republicans are seeming to still dominate Texas, although Democrats believe that there's a blue wave. So the blue wave just pretty much got canceled by these statistical measures that just came out. But first, let's talk about the big story here, which is just Jasmine Crockett, a disappointing turnout for her because many people thought that she would be the next one up to win the Senate, a future president. And James Tallarico, who came out of nowhere, who campaigned on a hoax. We got to break that down as well. This guy campaigned on a hoax. And by statistical measures, again, he's not looking too good against John Cornyn or Ken Paxton. Many of us want Ken Paxton to win. Also, Rhino Republican Dan Crenshaw got smoked because he did not get the Trump endorsement, by the way. So he got smoked as well in the House. So we got to talk about that. But first, again, James Tallarico has won Texas Democratic primary election for the Senate, defeating Jasmine Crockett. And I got to tell you guys, Jasmine Crockett is not happy about this. In fact, Jasmine Crockett has come out against Democrats. She has been coming out against Republicans for a long time, but now it's against Democrats. They have been trying to say that Texans will never vote for her. Remember this? Roland Martin and different personalities came out and said that they would not vote for Jasmine Crockett because she is a black woman and James Tallarico is a white man. So remember, it went from Republicans being racist to Democrats are now the racist. Take a look here. So Representative Jasmine Crockett from Dallas, Texas, is now blaming cheating for why she certainly will be losing her bid for Texas Democrat Senate nominee to James Tallarico. James Tallarico had a 90% chance, well, from the betting market. But she was saying that they were cheating her. They were cheating Jasmine Crockett.
To cast their vote, we should all be standing together. Democrats, Republicans, and we should all be raising hell. But unfortunately, this was always the plan. And so I am grateful for this court order. And as Congressman Allred has already stated, we encourage each and every one of you to remain resilient. We cannot allow this type of behavior to be rewarded, because so long as they know that they can win, even if it means cheating, then they will continue to do it. So I am asking you, I am begging you to make sure that you go ahead and figure out where it is that you are supposed to vote, stand in line, wait in line. And if it means that I got to come out there with you to wait with you, I will do that.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett speaking just within the last few minutes. Let's bring in Evan.
Yeah, so they cut it off right there. So again, she says that they were cheating. There's a lot of different people coming out and they were saying that, hey, there was voter suppression happening, right? Other people came out. I think Brooklyn Dad Defiant, who is a progressive leftist, said that a judge has ordered Dallas County, Texas polling places to stay open till 9 p.m. More voter suppression that BS has voters mixed up. So apparently there was mixing up. Jasmine Crockett came out against, her adversary, who was a Democrat, James Tallarico, and said that he used a hoax. Remember the hoax that he was shut down by the FCC on the Tonight Show with Stephen Colbert. So she has come out against Democrats, and now she has lost. This is so bad for the Democrats. So let's talk about the blue wave. So Texas going blue was the real, question here, right? Texas going blue in the midterms. That's what Democrats are looking forward to. A lot of Democrats were looking forward to seeing the numbers. And so let's break down what the actual numbers look like.
Okay, here to weigh in, Mary Catherine Ham, Fox News contributor, Matt Towery, political analyst and pollster. Matt, Democrats see huge turnout, and they say, we're going to take Texas. We really mean it this time. Texas is going blue. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, they say that every time it doesn't happen, but I will say one thing. Tallarico looks like a pretty good candidate. He's going to wax, I think, Crockett tonight. And Laura, we're really going to miss her and all her pithy little things we could listen to all the time and have a chuckle with. But I think she's going to be bye-bye. It depends. You know, Paxton, the argument the Republicans have is that Paxton has a lot of baggage. If he gets nominated, he can't win. But Paxton also has a lot of people who support him and may be more fired up to turn out in a general election. So I'm not buying that he can't win a general election. Right now, Polymarket has an 80% chance that he'll be the nominee. So I don't think Cornyn really has much of an opportunity to go back to the Senate.
So that's the update I want to give you guys about the Republicans. So the Republicans, and it looks like this is what's going to happen here. Texas AG Ken Paxton and Rhino Senator John Cornyn are heading off to a runoff election for Republican Texas U.S. Senate primary, as neither of them received 50% of the vote. So President Trump must endorse, people are calling for President Trump to endorse Ken Paxton, that gun-grabbing anti-Trump. Cornyn must go. So it looks like Ken Paxton has and will be the actual nominee to go against James Tallarico, which it looks like, in my opinion, he's going to cook James Tallarico. You'll know why, because the betting markets are literally pricing in Ken Paxton to win. So it looks like, you know, all the blue wave stuff is pretty much getting canceled. And so here we go. So apparently, you know, on MS now, there's a lot of cope happening, because Jasmine Crockett was winning at first. James Tallarico ended up winning. But one thing that I want to take from this clip is that Nicole Wallace said that Crockett and Tallarico are two of the most effective communicators in the entire Democratic Party right now. Yikes.
Especially by Crockett and Tallarico. They're two of the most effective communicators in the entire Democratic Party right now.
Yeah, when we were seeing the leaderboard there, you see them on your screen right now.
Yikes. Yikes. The two most effective. Really? Ladies and gentlemen, what are they talking about? Also, big announcement here. By the way, Al Green is in big trouble. Looks like he's almost out of here too. You know, trailing his Democrat primary challenger by about 5 points. So we should be updated on that as well. But apparently he looks like he's almost out of here too. So Democrats and some of their biggest stars are getting cooked tonight. So now that we know James Tallarico is the winner, here's Scott Jennings calling out James Tallarico for running a hoax to propel him getting past Jasmine Crockett, which is sad enough that he had to do that. And that's not going to be enough to cause this blue wave. Take a listen to Scott Jennings here.
By the whole thing with Stephen Colbert. That was a big rocket for him. He had to be a real news nerd to know who he was before then. But that moment where, you know, suddenly, you know, Stephen Colbert, who's obviously a legend among Democrats, says, hey, this kid, Trump and these guys don't want to hear from. I'm going to let you hear from him now. That's when he really, I mean, he got $2.5 million, I think, the next day. And it put him on the map. You could see it kind of irritated Jasmine Crockett a little bit that he was getting all this attention. Because up until then, I mean, she was very far ahead. If, in fact, he closes, probably that's the day that started.
Yeah, I definitely think it was true. Like you said, we obviously knew Tallarico. We were covering him, looking at, you know, the kind of personality he was, but it was completely different after that.
Pay for that level.
You can't, which is ironic because it was Jasmine Crockett who before was getting all the sort of, you know, earned media online.
Scott, you look skeptical.
Well, look, well, let's just admit it was an op, right? I mean, Trump had nothing to do with it. It was CBS's lawyers that had raised internal issues.
No,
it's not, I mean, it was a total sort of a hoax about how they positioned it. But I tend to agree.
Details.
I know. I'm glad that's what you think. But
yeah, so it was a hoax, and that's how he ended up beating Jasmine Crockett. Again, Jasmine Crockett had a couple episodes of her melting down about it, and then melting down about the actual election. But now we say goodbye to Jasmine Crockett, and let's play one of her most iconic clips. Jasmine Crockett has lost the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate in Texas, putting an end to her career in Congress. Jasmine had to decline re-election for her presidency in the U.S. House in order to run for U.S. Senate, and then now she'll be out after this year.
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
Order.
I'm
trying to get clarification.
Look, calm
calm
No,
down.
no, because this
I
is
would
what
like to
y'all
get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Miss
games,
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
and
yelling.
you don't want
Calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if
Look, Chairman,
I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right,
Sorry.
chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes.
Not
Ladies and gentlemen, it's over. It's over. It is over. So apparently, Jasmine Crockett has come out and she is accusing Republicans of rigging the Democrat U.S. Senate primary in Texas. Crockett is seemingly pulling the race card, saying that Republicans messed with the votes in Dallas County due to its high black population. So apparently, she got cooked here by James Tallarico, fried, and here's what she had to say.
So, so that's my news, is that we're not going to have election results tonight, in my opinion, based upon what specifically is taking place in Dallas County. Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do. And so they specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why. So, I want you to enjoy yourselves, but I won't be back tonight because I have no idea of when we're going to get results, and I fully anticipate it won't be until tomorrow. So, I love y'all too. Thank you so very much.
Guys, it's over. She's cooked. So that is the big news and the turnout. Again, Ken Paxton, John Cornyn, Democrats not looking good as a whole when it comes to the voter turnout, when it comes to what's happening with some of these big names in Texas that represent the Democrats. And it's not looking good for this blue wave, especially when Jasmine Crockett was supposed to be that big winner that was being pushed by millions and millions of individuals. It doesn't look like she was able to beat James Tallarico, who really came out of nowhere. Really, a lot of people have known Jasmine Crockett now for the last two and a half years, where she's grown to be this big Democrat star. It's over. She just got cooked by a guy whose hoax was already exposed, but she still lost, and now is blaming Republicans for it. So that's my update, ladies and gentlemen. Jasmine Crockett out, final year in Congress. It's over after that. James Tallarico versus Ken Paxton or John Cornyn. It's a given. I think James Tallarico, by the numbers and by the betting markets, looks like he will be losing that.